CT, Danny Liff, and Julizzy boy. We up right now, locking up your Saturday. Tell your bookie send my payment. Lot of opinions, but we only care about one statement. It's Boston Eddie Cappers, yeah. 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 Boston Eddie Cappers, yeah. Boston Eddie Cappers, yeah. Boston Eddie Cappers.
Welcome into the Boston Handicappers podcast. I am Dan Lifshatz here with a brand new mic. I'm hopeful it's a little bit better with my partners in crime, Julian Edlow. I guess our guest tonight, Julian Edlow of DK Network. Jules, what's going on?
I'm eating some Gushers. It's nice. I haven't had Gushers in a while. They're sour.
Oh, love that. Gusher boy over here. We open up the prop shop with some Gushers.
Prop shop got gushed last week. Not a good week of NFL player props for the first time in a little while.
Oh boy. Okay. I don't love to hear about that. And of course we have, we'll talk about that. Of course we have my real partner in crime, because Jules is the guest this week, technically. CT Betts with his son. CT, what's going on?
Guys, been an interesting night. Excuse me if we have some baby noises tonight, but I'm flying solo for hopefully not much longer here, as Amanda will be home soon, I hope. But doing well. It was a great Saturday for me. Great college Saturday for me. Got some nice ones there, and it would have been even bigger if Zona didn't blow that. So feeling pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely brutal in that game there, and not a fun one to end the college night with. That was certainly a swing, pretty brutal swing too. But let's get into. We have a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to touch on college football. We're going to touch on NFL. We're going to do the same format we did last week. So let's get into last week's thoughts, brought to you by Viva. Again, Viva. The Tuesday opener of the Boston Handicappers Network is brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer. Only 88 calories and a 4.5% ABV. Viva Tequila Seltzer is the most refreshing seltzer out there. Clean, light, and dangerously drinkable. Made with real tequila and bold flavors like huckleberry and grapefruit. Viva pairs perfectly with a winning ticket and some football. And be on the lookout for our announcement of our next live show somewhere in Boston in November. Should be the next couple weeks. Viva, live long, live well, live it up, Viva. So let's talk about our thoughts last week, guys. My leadoff thought is, I just was on the show with Joe Murray on 985 The Sports Hub, talked about some stuff. My leadoff thought is simply this, guys. One, Drake May is way better than we thought. That was the best game I've ever seen him play. Better than the Buffalo game. I thought he was ass in the first half of the Buffalo game, to be perfectly honest. I thought he kind of sucked ass. He was awesome in the New Orleans game. Just phenomenal. His throws down the field were awesome. They finally called some throws for him, which was the right move. I really thought that was the right thing to do. Finally let the guy throw down the field. Clearly he is a weapon down the field. So that was good by Josh McDaniels, finally calling the right thing, even though he was terrible for the most part in the game. And the other part, my other thought of the week, is the officiating in NFL and college football right now is fucking awful. It's the worst it's ever been. In both sports, from Kansas City getting 0 penalty calls. And I was on Kansas City. I wish I had more on Kansas City, but I was on Kansas City decently. Needed them in that spot. 0 penalty calls against the Chiefs. That seems bad. The Saints, the OPI against Stephon Diggs, arguably the worst call I've ever seen. The Auburn touchdown call in the end zone. I don't know what you guys are talking about. People were saying, oh, it's definitely a fumble. He's in the me. He has the ball. It's across the line. The Georgia defender punches it out as he crosses the line with the ball. Clearly a touchdown. They swung that game. They called things for Georgia all game. Reffing is as bad and as corrupt as it's ever been in the sport of football. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I think this is just going to be the way it is moving forward, guys. I think this is unfortunately where we are. So I'll stop there. CT, I'll move over to you. Any thoughts from last week in the world of football?
Yeah. Since you kind of covered NFL, I'll hit a few in NFL. Indiana, much better than I thought they were. That was impressive on Saturday. They controlled the majority of that game. Cignetti put his money where his mouth is, and going into Oregon and beating that Dan Lanning's team right there, that's a hell of a win. Kalen DeBoer looks like he's got the Alabama fans on his side right now. Feels like they play a ranked hard team almost every week, and that's not going to stop. They have Tennessee this weekend, and now like the SEC schedule, it feels like it's an absolute rock fight for the teams fighting to get the SEC championship the rest of the way through. Dan, you and I talked about it a lot on this show last week. Texas ain't dead yet. Emmett Tier came back way too early. He was awful. Absolutely awful. What was it, 17, 18 days after the surgery? What an absolute mistake bringing him back. Honestly, pretty embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, especially when you had Hawkins, putting up decent games. I know it was Kent State and stuff like that, but bringing him back there just felt like the wrong move. Texas ain't dead yet. And then Penn State, I'm sure I know it's not on the rundown for tonight. We'll get into it tomorrow on the pod. Finally made the right decision and got rid of Franklin. I do got to say one good thing about James Franklin. When he came in after Bill O'Brien kind of tried to smooth things over for 2 years, he did a pretty good job with a program that was pretty much shambles after everything that went on there. But it was time to move on from him. I really don't know who the right candidate is for that job, but I don't think it's going to be anybody that's on the betting board right now in the top 5 when you look at it.
Interesting.
That's just my opinion right now. We'll see what direction they go in. I guess those are my thoughts for college week 7 last week.
All right. And then Jules, over to you. What are your thoughts on the, last week of football, NFL, college football, whatever you want to talk about?
Yeah. I mean, from a Big Ten perspective, everybody's discussing Illinois upsets, Oregon,
Indiana,
Penn State. What did I say?
Illinois,
whatever it is. Same thing. Oregon gets upset, put it that way. Penn State gets upset again, and the downward spiral there. And last week we brought up on this podcast Ohio State being plus money to win the Big Ten, and that it wasn't going to be that way for much longer, and it's not. You're laying significant juice now in Ohio State, and Ohio State looked terrific again. I think clearly the best team in the country. We're talking about the parity in college football, and I don't know. I think Ohio State's kind of people will mention Miami in the same breath. I think Ohio State's kind of set themselves apart. So that I think the Big Ten is really open, with the rest of the teams below Ohio State. I think Ohio State, without getting a huge win, just kind of doing what they had to do, separate themselves from the pack. A lot of Pats love, and rightfully so, in NFL. I think a lot of it just says we also need to be talking about how bad the Bills are. The Bills' only wins are against 1 or 0 win teams, right?
Yep.
So,
well, I think Atlanta's a good team.
Well, that's not a win.
The
only teams that the Bills have beat.
Yep. You're right. Dump shots right there. Good job, Dan.
Yeah. Atlanta beat them. New England beat them. Everybody that Buffalo's beat has won 1 or fewer games. I think the Bills' defense is, team totals against the Bills. There's some ways that you can fade Buffalo the rest of the season. I should have looked at what their current win total is, but
it's 10.5. Their outside zone run defense without Milano, they cannot figure out motion. The Niners and the Bills without Warner and Milano, they cannot figure out motion. That's a problem for both of those teams moving forward. The Niners looked fucking lost without Warner, guys. Like lost.
Yeah. That was another one I was going to go to, is that San Francisco's injuries continue to pile up. It's like this might get him at some point. And of course it's Atlanta, San Francisco on Sunday Night Football. But yeah, I think Ohio State, they had nowhere to go but up, but they went up somehow in my book this week, and Buffalo Bills NFL side went down significantly. The Pats game was not a fluke or a one-off or anything like that.
I'll say this: Pat's plus 165 to win the division. I wouldn't have any interest in that bet. We went over the schedule. I know Tankathon has them as the easiest schedule moving forward, guys. I'm telling you, it's not as easy as you think. Joe Burrow will be back. Lamar Jackson will be back.
Right.
Those two games. You look at the Baltimore Ravens schedule; they are favored in the next 8 games.
They're still almost even money to make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I think they win the division. I know that sounds crazy. I still think they win that division. If they
need to figure out the defense. They get a lot back on offense, but the defense has been bad for Baltimore.
But they got Kyle Harrison back this week, and again, that's a totally different game if they score from the 1 yard line and take a 10-3 lead. Like if they score from the 1 yard line, that's a very different football game. And of course, it's fucking Cooper Rush's fucking pussy ass can't get in. That's where you should use Tyler Huntley. What the fuck are you guys doing, John Harbaugh? That was just bad coaching there. But I think that's a very different game. I think Baltimore is fine. Like I think Baltimore is totally fine. They go up 17 points to a pretty good offense in LA. Like I think that's a team that will figure it out moving forward. They're off the bye and they get to face, Caleb Williams and Painted Nails, who again was terrible last night, just fucking awful.
Defense was good for the Bears.
Yeah, and again, well, the takeaways. Jaden Daniels is a fumble twice. The Bears lose that game, so whatever. The interception was bad. Daniels was terrible play on him, but the fumbles were just, whatever. I did have the Bears, so I felt that was nice for me to start the week, but nonetheless, whatever. The final thing I will say, just because we were trying to talk about it there, Indiana 21-1 last week, guys, to win the Big Ten. 21-1, which I told you I was going to bet. Now plus 165.
Crazy what one win. That's a way better bet than just Indiana money line last week.
Okay, I'm telling you this right now. Oregon sucks. They're bad. It's not their best win. It was Penn State in overtime. That team is ass.
Be
on the lookout. Double overtime. I'm telling you right now, guys, Oregon is going to lose another game, maybe 2, maybe 3. This is not a good Oregon team. It's going to be the same thing with Clemson that we did with Clemson and we did with Penn State. It's going to be the same thing. We're just going to find it out a little bit later this year. That Oregon team sucks. They are not good. The quarterback is not good. They just faced bad coaching all year and they're in trouble. They get USC in a couple weeks. Good fucking luck to them in that game. Good fucking Iowa at Iowa. That's a brutal game. I'm just saying. I think they're in some trouble. Just my personal opinion. I think they're in some trouble. So, anyways, those are our thoughts on the league. Let's move over to Bet 105 moves on the board. CT.
This Tuesday opener of the Boston Handicappers Network podcast is brought to you by Bet105.ag. With the most competitive odds in the business, go check out Bet105.ag. Be on the lookout for the Boston Handicappers best bet on the site, where Bet105 will be boosting odds on our favorite play each and every week. And go check out the player prop section, where Bet105 is giving out minus 110 odds on both sides of player props during primetime NFL games as well. An absolute must for prop bettors, especially Jules when he opens the prop shop. Bet105.ag, where the pros play.
All right, let's start off with our first big move of the week. 317, 318, Nebraska and Minnesota. Nebraska opens 4 at Circa Sports. Number moved to 9. I do think there was some buyback later tonight. I think we're sitting -8 right now, but still, and I'll edit that, I guess, we're still sitting a 4-point move in market, guys. What are your thoughts on the Nebraska Minnesota move? I don't think much of Drake Lindsay in Minnesota, but this feels like a big move. CT, I'll start with you. Any thoughts here?
Felt like a pretty big move to me too, especially Minnesota has kind of owned this series the last 4 or 5 games, and Nebraska's defense, probably among the best against the run, but it just seems like a little much here for both teams that lean heavy on the ground here. I don't know if I warrant the move here. At 9, I kind of lean the dog, but I won't be anywhere near getting to the window on this one.
Jules, any thoughts on this?
I did take a little piece of Maryland getting 7 against Nebraska on the road last week, which worked out. That was a weird back and forth game with some weird plays, but
Nice second half for Maryland there.
Nice second half, got Maryland home. I'm not a big Nebraska fan, and I'm not a big Nebraska fan on the road, and I'm not a big Nebraska fan on the road back-to-back weeks. Minnesota can be tough. I'm kind of with you guys. I would lean home dog here, but we've kind of lost some of the value there. But yeah, you're not going to catch me laying points with Nebraska on the road often, if ever.
Yeah, again, Nebraska just outside the top 25 in EPA per play. I actually agree with the move. I just think it's a little bit too strong. I made the game 7.5. So the move to 9 was ridiculous. There is some buyback, and I agree with the buyback now sitting where it is. So I would probably leave this one alone. I probably wouldn't have anything to bet at this point in this game. Just the buyback's a little too strong. Maybe a little bit of value in Minnesota, but I certainly wouldn't be betting it at this point. If you any the 8.5, I might consider it. All right, let's move over to another one, guys. 339, 340, Georgia State and Georgia Southern. Total opens 51.5. It moves to 60. Now, the Georgia Southern offense has been very good this year, just to kind of put it in perspective. They did have a nice comeback a couple weeks ago against what, Southern Miss? Was that 2 weeks ago? Was that last week? Can't remember. Either way,
that was last week on Friday night. They came back and they lost by 3.
Yeah, so I think this number is a little bit too high. I just don't think the Georgia State offense is any good. I know they put it on App State, scored 20 there, but I mean they really haven't shown much against some of the other decent defenses here. I lean under on this number. Nothing, no serious take here. But any thoughts from either one of you on this one?
I'll just go like betting splits wise. I see, Circa is at 60 with 60% of the tickets for 83% of the dollars on the over. Like at DraftKings, we're at 59.5 with 50% of the tickets for 64% of the money on the under, which is kind of interesting. This move was obviously sparked by sharp money, big money somewhere to make a move like this. I can't tell you that I have much of a take on the game. I would say that a total that's been bet up 8.5 points, I would probably lean under and get some buyback on that. But I don't have enough of an opinion on the game to really say that I have a side on the total. But it is interesting. Like when you see a move this big, I think it is interesting to look at these early betting splits with games that have only been on the board for a couple of days and see why and how did this move that much? Where's the money to move this that much? Or was the total just put out, somewhat incorrectly?
Yeah, I think it's a bad number at Circa. It's probably what I call this one, Jules. I made the game 58.5. No play for me. I would lean actually under a little bit, but nothing there. Nothing for you, right, CT?
No, I agree. It's probably, we see that on the opener sometimes. Sometimes you just open a bad number. That's all.
Happens all the time.
Can I ask, while we're on the topic of that, I see the game you got on the bottom there, Dan. I'm going to ask you guys about one, though, because I know I didn't see this number on like your DKs and FanDuels of the world, but I saw Circa opened Auburn laying 3, hosting Missouri, and Auburn is now +2.
That's right.
In that game, I believe. So I'm just going to throw that one in the ring here because I like this game and I played Auburn.
Sure. Why don't we replace Troy and Monroe? Because I know you guys don't give a shit about that. That's probably a better one.
Perfect. That's great news for me and CT.
Perfect. So why don't we do that one, and I'll fix the viewer here. Jules, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the games that you bet it?
Well, because I was curious, I didn't see Auburn -3 anywhere. That's a little rich for me. I knew I liked Auburn going into it, and I was expecting around a pick, which it was. I mean, it was sitting like a pick DraftKings Sunday morning when I was looking. And so I was like, well, is this a bad number by Circa on the Auburn laying 3, or do they really want your Missouri money? And they've gotten lots of Missouri money to move it essentially 5 points. So I thought that was one of those similar questions of, was this just a bad number or what? And I like Auburn at home coming off that. I know both are coming off losses to Georgia and Alabama. Those are big, tough losses, but I would say Alabama controlled that game and they were up 10 late against Missouri and deserved to win. Auburn went up 10-0, could have gone up 17-0 with the controversial play that Dan opened the show with, and then didn't score again, and Georgia runs them out. But, there's the Kirby Smart timeout thing. Like, Auburn should be pissed off. Now you got the AD talking about Hugh Freeze's job, and he's like, well, I don't plan to fire him, but I also don't plan for my car not to start when I wake up in the morning. It's like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah,
that was a ridiculous fucking comment.
Hugh Freeze is going to be all pissed off coaching for his job. Jackson Arnold can run the ball. I know one of the Auburn backs is dinged up, but they have a few of them. This is Missouri's first road game of the season, and we're moving it 5 points in their favor.
Oh,
I like Auburn. You can use this as a play. I'm giving a play. Auburn +2.
All right, hold on. Let me get the sounder ready. I wasn't ready for Jules to be banging plays off the top.
On a game that I inserted into our segment.
Okay, yeah, seriously, yeah. Well, Super wasn't ready. Okay, so interesting. I tend to agree with you, Jules. You want another angle that I think
night game too. 7:45 kick Saturday night.
Yeah, here's my other angle in this one, Jules, and I'm sure you're gonna fucking love this one. The ref angle. Freeze basically said today that he was on the phone with the SEC all fucking weekend about the last couple of weeks, as none of the calls have gone for them. And I would tend to agree. Again, I thought that was a touchdown. I thought it was a clear fucking touchdown too. And I bet Georgia in that game. So like, I was a great. I'll take it, but I was fucking against that call. The other part of this one, Jules, is that I think they're going to get some fucking calls on Saturday too. Like,
I like that angle.
Pose them a little bit, and it's not really an angle I'm super into, but I do think this is unless they were betting the fucking Chiefs, but I do think this is an angle that is actually has a little bit of legitimacy to it. So Auburn right now +2 -106. Jules, I'm going to jump on this with you as well for the sounder. There you go. +2 -106 over at Bet 105. CT, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I like your guys' side as well. Jules, I think you're absolutely right. Bama absolutely dominated that game. And Missouri kind of gets, in the last couple minutes, that touchdown to come back, and then they force the punt, whatever. But I was never really concerned about Alabama not winning that game for my over wins this year. Never really concerned at all. Even when Missouri went up 7-0, I just wasn't. Bama just looks poised since that first week loss to Florida State. Like you said, Jules, first game on the road. You got to think that Freeze is going to be ready to go here, coming off three straight losses. And I know he's not exactly known to be like this mastermind, get the guys dialed in here, but they have more than enough talent to win this game. And I don't think Missouri should be the favorite on the road here. I agree with the opener. The opener, no pun intended, on the line as Auburn opened the fave. But I'm not going to join you guys just because despite that our Arizona team bet went to absolute shit last week.
Agreed.
That is the only side I could have in this game would be Auburn.
Yeah, I again, to me, this is a good spot for Auburn, getting Missouri on the road off the very physical Bama game. I agree with CT. I ended up betting Missouri at 3.5 and 4, which I thought I did. I feel like I got lucky. Alabama was definitely the better team in the right side that entire game. I also hated the play calling from Mizzou. They just didn't run the football enough. And this is not a good situation for Missouri to be playing. I think a team like Auburn. Auburn is the #1 team in the country in EPA per rush, and #2 in defensive success rate against the run game too. So making Pribula throw down the field, which I thought he was very poor against that Bama secondary. He sucked. I mean, he should have had 4 picks that game. That was not good. So I like Auburn in that situation. I think they're going to be able to run the ball too. Power run game, I think, is a good spot for Auburn there, especially at home. So, all right, quickly 371, 372. I want to touch on this game for 1 second. If New Mexico pulls back to 10, I'll be betting New Mexico here. I love them in this spot. I think Nevada is brutally bad this year. Number has gotten a little bit too far out there for me. But if this one pulls back, I do think this is a game now. It's out to 12 now, looking at Bet 105. So probably won't see a lot of pullback. But if it does, I'll be on that. I'll be on the game there. So there you go. I'm assuming you guys don't have any thoughts on this one.
No.
Okay. Let's skip ahead to 413, 414. Oregon and Rutgers. Oregon opens 14, moves to 17. Jules, I'll start with you. Any thoughts there?
Disagree with the move. I don't want to pile on Oregon, but like I understand it's a good spot in theory for them off of a bad loss, but you got to go out east, play on the road at Rutgers, and Rutgers. That was a weird game. The Rutgers looked really good for a half out at Washington, and then got train wrecked in the second half. But they have a good offense. I've seen that in multiple games. Saw that in the Iowa game. I like what Rutgers can do on offense. They're going to have a tough time on defense. I don't know what the total is in this game. As my wheels are turning here, I'm like, we should see some points in this game.
Yeah, that move too. Open 58.5. It's 60.5 now, most spots.
Okay, agree with that move as well then. But I think Rutgers can hang around in this game. I don't know if I'm brave enough to bet it.
I completely agree, Jules. I think that's a major spot that I think people are probably looking at a bounce back spot for Oregon. I think the opposite. I think this is a brutal trip to fucking Piscataway, New Jersey, to face a fucking Rutgers team that, has been playing a little bit tougher lately. I understand the move. I get it. But again, I'm down on Oregon. I would be Rutgers or nothing in this situation. I couldn't have anything but that one. So no point for me in that game.
The problem is that, like, I know Rutgers has been playing tougher, but their defense is just
asshole.
It's just awful. Probably bottom 10 in success rate. It's been awful. But I agree. I don't think on this trip I could be laying it. I can't lay 17.5 there. I don't feel like, especially after what I just saw last week from that offense.
Not to mention, guys, like they do face Wisconsin the week afterwards. Not exactly a look ahead spot or anything like that because it's Wisconsin. But 2 weeks after that, they do go to Iowa, which is, I think, going to be a very brutal road trip from what we saw with Iowa's defense last week. So just saying, interesting spot for them. I wouldn't shock me if Rutgers was successful here. All right, so
you want to hit the chat for a little bit here on a few of these comments before you hit these 2 NFL games?
Sure.
Totally agree with Spanky.
That's why I was looking at that.
Let's see. Well, I didn't.
Thank you, Jules and I don't pick them. We just do what we're told, brother.
It's the Big Bopper show. Spoke when spoken to.
Jesus.
No, not that Spanky. The one that says, Dan, love you, man. But why do you pick the worst games on the board to talk about?
Well,
come on, man.
We're talking. These are the biggest moves of the week, Spanky. So we're talking about big moves on the board. It's the opener, not the hey. Let's talk about every fucking big game.
I pulled a 5-point move on a Missouri Auburn game out of thin air and inserted that in.
Fair enough, and I missed that one. I will say, hand up, I absolutely missed that one.
That was good, Jules.
I will take that. Okay, fair enough. I do all the work on this one, so I'll take the L on that one. All right, but we have a bunch of big games coming up. We're going to talk about those next. Those are when we talk about the juice reel games of the week. Finally, 259, 260 Saints Bears total. We saw Caleb Williams suck ass again last night. Spencer Rattler dominated the Patriots defense once again. They looked terrible in the passing game. I thought the Bears secondary looked pretty good. I actually disagree with this move. I think under is the move in this game. I don't know about you guys. I disagree with the move in this one.
Yeah, I would agree. I can't warrant the 3-point move there, especially what I saw out of the Saints offense and Chicago's offense the last couple of games there. That's a weird one for me. It could only have the under there.
All right. And then finally, 463, 464. Jets and Panthers, a 3-point move in the NFL, very rare. I did bet under 43.5 in Jets Panthers. I was going to give that out as a play on today's show. A couple very sharp NFL guys gave it out instead. So unfortunately, we will not be doing any Jets Panthers talk. But I do still think 41.5 is a good under here. No Garrett Wilson for the Jets this week. The Panthers are going to have Rico Dowdle probably starting again. I don't think he'll be going for 200 all-purpose yards against the Jets defense, who have been very good against the runs. So I would I like the under in this situation. And by the way, Justin Fields 45 passing yards last week. We didn't talk about that one either in the London game.
Who's worse, the Jets or the Bengals right now currently?
I'd still say the Bengals, but it's close. It's close.
Real close.
Yeah. Oh well. All right. Let's move over to the Juice Reel games of the week. Jules, I'll start with you.
Yeah, this Tuesday opener of the Boston Handicapper Network podcast is brought to you by Juice Reel. The world's first transparent betting marketplace is finally here. No more scammers. If you believe you're a winner, simply sync your sportsbook apps and all your plays will be shown for everyone to see. Want to find the best bettors instead? Everyone's bets are ranked and records are legitimate. You can access the top Juice Reel members' plays through the app if you want to tail someone or get paid if someone tails your bets instead. You can also find exclusive bets from the Boston Handicappers on the Juice Reel app each week that won't be given out on the podcast. Don't worry, the bets are still free. Just go download the Juice Reel app and add the Boston Handicappers as friends via the link provided in our Twitter profile. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM us, Juice Reel, where transparency is king.
All right, so it's the Juice Reel games of the week. We did post one for tonight. South Alabama -7. They are out to a 7-3 lead in the second quarter right now. So interesting one we'll be monitoring there. Let's hit the big games of the week here. I know everyone wants to talk about them. 349, 350. Duke and Georgia Tech undefeated. Georgia Tech heads into Duke. Duke opened as a 3-point favorite, 58.5 in total. We've seen a pretty decent sized move on that one. Now Duke -1, 1.5, 61 is the total here, guys. I know we all have thoughts on this Georgia Tech team. I'll start with you, CT, on this one. Anything you really like in this one?
Well, I thought I was going to be able to get Duke as a dog in this one,
Right.
and I was kind of shocked that they opened up the fave. I thought Georgia Tech would have opened up the fave there, and I thought I was going to be able to get like +3 with Duke, and that might have been a play for me. And I get it, like Duke, they're coming off the bye. I just don't know if I could trust this Duke team right now to be laying points versus a Georgia Tech team that just keeps on getting it done here. I made the Yellow Jackets a slight favorite. So I can't lay it here. It would be Tech or nothing for me.
All right, Jules, over to you.
I thought CT was going to come on and say I was expecting Georgia Tech to be favored, and once I saw Duke favored, I had to hop on it. This is interesting. I probably a little too much respect for Duke. We've bet Duke a handful of times and watched them shit the bed. So
I mean, they were a fun bet versus Oregon State, to be fair.
Well, we've won on them too, but like
versus NC State too, right? Yeah.
I forget which one. I don't even remember which ones
we
won. We won against NC State. They had lost the two before.
Right.
Duke's a solid team. Georgia Tech's definitely better. So how much is home field worth here for Duke? I don't know. I'm staying away from this one because I don't have much of an opinion, but obviously the splits are pretty sharp to Duke in this spot.
Duke was also outgained by like 120 yards in that game we won versus NC State. Yeah, and they didn't take the lead until late.
Duke's been one of those teams that takes sharp money week after week and hasn't come through. And now it's the middle of October. So at some point,
is Manny Diaz having conversations with Penn State too?
I have not heard that. I do know that I think there is another defensive coordinator, potentially Jim Knowles, who might have some conversations with Penn State, but I don't. In terms of the head coaching job, Jules, not the defensive coordinator job, just to make that abundantly
clear. But he's already there.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I don't think Diaz makes sense as a head coach. I mean, not that he's already failed at a higher level program. I don't know if you want to hire a failed retread as one of your guys.
Why didn't they make Kolenicki or Knowles the interim instead of Terry Smith? I thought that was interesting.
That was interesting.
Really, it says a lot.
I know we're getting off topic, but this is.
I think it means that they want to keep those people in their roles, right? You want to keep those people in their roles and elevate somebody else because you know you're going to be hiring somebody else.
Well, I don't know if you guys heard.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I had heard that Knowles was interviewing for the Oregon State job, or
Oklahoma
the
State.
Oklahoma State job a couple weeks ago, and that signals to me that maybe they are kind of out on him because he wasn't in on them, which is I think it's a bad way to do it, but hey, it is what it is. Not my.
I mean, Manny Diaz is on the odds board for next head coaches. He's plus 2,000.
I don't see it, man.
Joe Brady's now the favorite, which is interesting as well.
That is interesting. I don't know what
that's happening, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But that whole situation was interesting. You ex wide receiver from Penn State, who was the cornerbacks coach, is now your interim coach. I don't know, kind of weird.
Yeah, I would tend to agree there. I lean Duke in this game. I think Georgia Tech being a little bit overvalued still. I made Duke a small favorite. I won't bet the game. I like over though. 60 and a half to me would be a play. If there's any 60 and a halves out there, I would bet over. You have a great offensive pass second half for, great offensive pass offense for Georgia Tech versus that terrible defensive secondary for Duke. And I think you can argue the same thing there. I love the way that the Duke quarterback has been looking this year. The Tulane transfer, he's been phenomenal, dude. I like him a lot as a player. He continues to impress me. So I don't know. I'm kind of on that one. I don't know, whatever. Let's move over to another one, guys. 365, 366. Vanderbilt and LSU open to pick them 47 and a half. Vandy now a 2.5 point favorite. 49 is the total. We are seeing some 2.5, minus 115, minus 120 pop in the market too. Do you guys have any thoughts on this game?
Well, our buddy Rudy G Betts, who's in the chat right there, Dan, he's like the biggest LSU fan I've ever met. He told me I was out of my mind last week when I told him I bet LSU and I liked them a lot last weekend. He said he couldn't have any part of it. And I told him exact words. I go, you sit on the sidelines while I cash my ticket. And that's exactly what I said to him. And that's exactly
what happened.
What happened. Look at this game. Now, I still think that there's problems shouldn't say there's problems. There's definitely problems with the offense, right? It's not what we thought it was going to be. They showed signs of life last Saturday and probably should have scored more points if it wasn't for that fumble there. But still couldn't really get their way into the end zone. And obviously I know this is a pretty popular point, but it is wild that this is the first time in 51 games that Vanderbilt's going to be a favorite in this conference. That's wild. If they end up going off as the fave, which it looks like they're going to, it's the first time they've been a favorite in this conference in 51 games. Kind of wild.
Can I give out a play right now, by the way, before we get into anything here?
Sure.
I'm going to give out Liberty second half minus 4. Ring the bell.
Liberty.
Yes. If you're
they
listening
stink.
They're not stinking today. So if you're listening to Liberty minus 4 second half. I just got to take a look at the line, so I apologize. If
20 to 6 at the half right now.
Yeah, 20 to 6 and a half. So they need to win. I think they're 4-point favorites right now. So yes, I will be taking Liberty minus they're up by 14. So Liberty minus 18 will be my bet minus 110. So there you go. That is my bet second half live. I'll take Liberty there. All right.
You gotta log in, then maybe join you for a couple shekels.
All right, there we go. I think they're fucking rolling right now. But going back to the Liberty LSU or the Vanderbilt LSU game, guys. I thought LSU was really good last week. I think maybe Nussmeier is starting to be a little bit healthier. Obviously was injured. Clearly had some issues this year, guys. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I personally would tell you that I like LSU in this spot. I probably won't end up betting them, but I lean LSU in this spot.
Same.
I just think Vanderbilt has not played well against these power teams at all. And I would be a little bit worried about Vanderbilt in these big situations. They played a very good first half versus Alabama and then shit the bed in the second half at home. I think the LSU defense is significantly better, and I think Vanderbilt might have a little bit of difficult time moving that football against the LSU defense there. I would lean LSU. I know the move there. LSU hits 3, which it did for a second. I missed it. But if I see LSU 3 again, I'll probably end up on some LSU 3.
I think we might be able to get it too. It looks.
It's right on that. Right on that.
Buy it there.
Yeah, we're right on that border. I want 3 minus 110. I probably won't take 3 minus 115 or 120. I want 3 minus 110 or minus 105 in this game. So
I made LSU the fave. I don't give a shit that it's in Vanderbilt.
Okay, I made it Vandy minus 1. So we're pretty close. Jules, what are your thoughts on the game?
Kind of like Vandy. I'm buying into this team. I think that I haven't seen much from LSU, to be honest.
Well, I think
they win every. He's good, yeah. Why do they keep winning? They keep winning every home game by less than they should, and they've been on the road once, and everybody loved them against Ole Miss, and they lost, and once again didn't score many points. I'm kind of starting to think though that maybe the under in this game is the best play. I think both teams could struggle to score, so
49.5 would be the number I think you're looking for there.
Yeah, I've total's gone up, huh?
Yeah,
I don't get that, but yeah, like I bet a little bit of Vandy pick. I think that LSU just kind of keeps letting down. I don't totally see it with LSU the way that you guys do, and now they're going on the road, and Vandy's going to be pumped up for this game. They hung with Alabama to a degree. They only lost by 7 at LSU last year. LSU wasn't. Are they better this year?
I think defensively they're significantly.
Defensively they're better.
Offensively they're probably worse. But I think it's not all that different.
I like Auburn more than I like Vandy, but I do like Vandy and I do like the under, and I may play some combination of that. I have some Vandy in pocket. Put it that way. I'm not going to give it out right at 2.5, but
okay.
Yeah, the under 49.5 definitely interests me.
Our guy Rudy G Bats, it's telling CT I was encouraged by the offense last week, but Nuss did hobble a bit, tweak his ankle, something I'll keep my eye on. It sounds like he's fine from that one. He's been practicing at 100%. I think it was a small ankle tweak, a lower ankle roll, not a high ankle roll, which is a big difference there. And Spanky, of course, joining us saying LSU is the NFL version of the Eagles. I think that's unfair. I think the LSU is significantly better than the Eagles are playing right now. So I might take LSU in that match.
The Eagles could use some of LSU's players on defense. That's for sure.
Yeah, our guy Brandon also checking in here. I know I'm late, but Hook'em CT. That's right. We were all over Texas last week. Good little horns win there. Sorry, Jules.
That was a nice one.
Yeah, I needed that one.
I just wanted to win my Oklahoma plus 10.5 from preseason.
I know you did. I'm very sorry.
Is that too much to ask?
I feel bad. I do feel bad
because it didn't get there.
Yeah, me too. I also took some Texas minus 10.5 live, so I kind of I don't feel too bad. They kicked the fucking shit out of them in the second half.
Second half just wasn't even a dogfight. Wasn't even a game.
All right, 391, 392, Georgia and Ole Miss.
This is an interesting one.
Open 6, 51.5, out to 7 minus 120, 53.5. I bet this game today.
Okay.
I don't know if the number is still available, but I bet this game today.
Probably not, because I'm assuming you bet Georgia, because that's the side I like.
There you go. I bet Georgia. I'm looking at what it is at bet 105. It's 7.5 minus 107. So it's 7.
There's some 7 flats, MGM.
It's 7 minus 125 out there. Pretty much everywhere. 7. Let's see. Is there any 7 minus 120? I would bet.
Yeah, there's 7 minus 115 and bet MGM.
Yeah, it's not a real book.
You can bet there.
It is. I'm just kidding. We love you, MGM. I'm just giving you mostly a hard time. They just take like $6 from me, which is kind of annoying.
There's 7 minus 117 at Bet Rivers. That's more of a book than MGM.
Yeah, let's see. Well, Sports Trade has Bally says 7 minus 117. That's not terrible. Let's see. Caesars 7.5 minus 110. DraftKings 7.5 even. I actually like that.
I actually would bet that.
Yeah,
that would be my bet.
7.5 even. Maybe I'll wait, because I'll wait and see if this one gets a little bit better.
It's coming back.
It might come back a little bit. So I'll wait till tomorrow night, see if this one goes. But the only side I can have in this game is Georgia. I've been telling you guys, I don't like Ole Miss all year. I've been super low in this Ole Miss team. I don't believe in them. And honestly, I haven't seen a whole hell of a lot. That's the other side of that. I think they got kind of lucky versus LSU. Nussmeier clearly not 100% in that game. And I think the Georgia offense is going to fucking tear them apart. Like that's my big concern is the Ole Miss defense versus the Georgia offense. I think the people have kind of forgotten what this Ole Miss defense has been, this year. And, they've been able to hide it the last couple of weeks, but this is, again, they were a fumble away from Arkansas beating them when Arkansas was rolling with Pittman. So, let's not forget, this is not exactly. Yeah. Exactly. This Ole Miss team is.
They almost lost as a 32-point home favorite last.
I know to Washington State. Yeah, I forgot about that too. Was Washington State up at half on them? I think they were, right? So
no.
Did they score right before? Was it 20-17 or something like that? It was close.
It was close. It was a close game, wire to wire.
Okay. All right. So either way,
turned the ball over.
Yeah, I saw that. Lovely. I do think that this is a very, very clear Georgia.
I agree with Big Johnny D right there, and Georgia was a massive, bet for me last year.
That was you and me in that spot, CT. We laid, I think we laid like 9.5. I think it closed like 14 in that game. That was one of my biggest bets of the regular season. I remember that. And then I remember it was like, yep, Tennessee's going to do the same thing against Ohio State. They're going to get absolutely throttled. We bet them in the playoffs again. Everyone loved Tennessee in the 14. But I completely agree, Big Johnny D. That was exactly what I was going to bring up. This exact game was going to be the comp I bring up here. I think it's a very similar situation. I think Ole Miss is probably better offensively than Tennessee was last year. And I think Georgia's worse defensively than Georgia was last year. That's my only difference, but I still made the game about 9. So I like the 7 -127.5 even money. I lay both of them. Jules, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm aligned with you guys on this game. Not to mention, did you say Georgia went to Ole Miss and lost on the road last year? That was
forgot about that.
Yeah. So they won 2010 as a dog. Small dog.
Revenge off of last season's road loss. And I'm just going to tie it into our next game because we're mentioning Tennessee. Alabama also has a Saturday night revenge game for their loss at Knoxville last year. Saturday night at home in Tuscaloosa against a Tennessee team that I also think is overrated like this Ole Miss team. So what did I do? I did a very popular Georgia and Alabama moneyline parlay. I think that those two teams are winning those games.
I'll up you on a little bit, Jules. I did Georgia Notre Dame. I'm not really a big parlay guy, but I did Georgia Notre Dame. And speaking of Notre Dame, 415, 416 Notre Dame USC. That's a -10, -105. It opened 8, 51.5. Some places was 7.5, -120. So I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys in this one. The Notre Dame defense getting the corners back has made the world of difference to this team. The secondary looks lifetimes better. I still disagree with this number. I do. I still disagree with the number. I bet Notre Dame off someone else's advice to me. I hate it. But I'm going to roll with it and I'm not going to question it. We're not now sitting 9.5, 61.5 is the total. Is it 61?
They're still 8.5.
Yeah, you're off 10 points on the total. It was 59.5 to 61.5.
Correct. Yeah, sorry about that. That's
I wish it was 51.5.
DK is still 8.5. I bet and gave out 8.5 yesterday. DK is still 8.5. There's a couple other moronic books out there that are still 8.5 that I don't even want to mention, but they're still 8.5 out there. Bovada's 8.5.
The sharper books.
Sharper books are 9.5, 10, and it's going to close over 10 as well.
I agree. I think this one probably closes 11. This is a lot. It's a lot of points.
I as a big USC guy this year, I told you guys yesterday, I think USC is in for a rude awakening this weekend. And when they go east, it doesn't work out well for them. And this is a Notre Dame team that, Jules, I like your bet from a couple weeks ago now, because want to know what? I think Notre Dame's running the table, and they are going to make the college football playoff, and they deserve to be. They should be as high as power rated as they are right now. They're in my top 5. And I think they're going to absolutely destroy USC this weekend. This has 14 to 21 point win written all over it. This is a send a message game. Lincoln Riley's head is going to be spinning here. And yeah, I agree. I like talk about Maava and this USC offense. Getting those pieces back on defense has been huge for Freeman. And finally, your buddy Dan Carr, he's finally settled in, and he looks like what everybody was talking about, what he was going to be, not what he was in training camp and not what he was in the first couple games of the year. And let's not forget, their 2 losses, Dan. So they battled with Miami until the end, and they should have won that Texas A&M game. I don't care what anybody says. They missed that extra point. They drive down the field there, and that Texas A&M team is very good. This is a show play for me, and I like this game quite a bit here. Notre Dame minus 8.5, show play for CT.
All right. There you go. I don't really have a strong opinion on this one. I think this is one of those situational spots where I think you probably lay the points. Circa sitting right now 10, by the way, guys, just out there. 8.5 minus 112 CT is the best number on the board.
All right, K-Man, go ahead. You could go grab your 10 now. Get your second mortgage out. It's available. You're going to need every point you could get. I love you, buddy.
Yeah, I got nothing in this one.
I don't have as much of an opinion on the side. I can see both sides of it. I probably like Notre Dame in single digits because of just how bad USC has been coming on the road and coming east. But they have a really good offense, and we mentioned the Notre Dame corners coming back and how great that's been for them. They gave up 7 to Boise State. That's pretty legitimate. 7 to NC State. USC is going to score. And Notre Dame's going to score. I don't think USC comes in here and they can lose. They can get smoked, but it's not going to be because they can't score, I don't think.
Well, we thought the same thing about Arkansas, and I think Arkansas is a pretty fucking good offense, and I don't know. They got fucking shut down and couldn't score.
Yeah, Arkansas scored against Tennessee. That's true.
Again, my Alva has looked this year at times concerning. I'm not saying he's bad, but there have been times where he's turnover prone. He's concerning.
We're talking like best passing offense in the country so far.
Yeah, again, they haven't played anyone that's very good, Jules. That's kind of.
They played Michigan's defense.
Michigan.
Where does Michigan's defense compare to Notre Dame's?
Yeah, but Michigan. The problem with Michigan is their offense can't stay on the field. So their defense is on the field for 40 minutes a game. They get tired.
They played Illinois. I don't think very highly of Illinois either. I think Illinois is an absolute joke.
And Illinois
and they tried
Illinois should have smoked them.
They tried to give USC the game. They tried to say, here, I don't want to win. We don't want to win. USC still couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
USC scored more than 30 points in every game this season. We can talk about who they've played. I think they're going to flirt with 30. I think they're going to flirt with 30 in this game. And I think Notre Dame is going to go up and down the field. So I am playing over 61.5 in this game. You can give me that as a show play.
Okay. I think I'm going to be able to do you one better, Jules. I think there's better numbers out there right now. Let me take a look and see what I have. Over 61 is out there.
Wow.
This was 59.5 earlier today, guys. So yeah, I'll give you 61, Jules.
It couldn't have been today. Sunday today. It was.
Nope, today. Earlier today, 59.5 was the when I did this.
I bet it at 61 yesterday. So you're telling me it came back down and back up?
Yep, 100%. 59.5 was the number at Circa. I'll see if I can pull it up for you here.
And yes, Brandon,
I've been looking at this game a lot. I did not see that.
Okay. All right. Well, either way. All right. Let's move on. I'll see if I can pull one. I have time. 417, 418, Bama and Tennessee. Obviously a big one. Everyone's going to have opinions on this one. Open 7.5, 58, now 8.59. So I made the game 10. I continue. I will be very straightforward in this one. I am lower on Tennessee than everyone else is. That's my, I don't think Tennessee's good. I don't think Ole Miss is good. I think Bama, I think CT nailed Bama, like absolutely nailed them. I think they are very good. And again, top 20 EPA team. I think that Tennessee defense is going to have a fucking lot to handle this week. Boy, I'm worried for them. I got nothing in this game yet. Could only be Bam or nothing. I want to see if this one comes back down. 7.5 minus 110 would be a bet for me. CT, you're a resident Bama guy. I'll go over to you.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, I was lower on this Tennessee team as well coming into this year. I bet the under 8.5 wins, and you guys know how high I am on Bama, and they kind of have finally settled in. And like I talked about at the beginning of the show, it's like every week we're like, shit, Bama's got a test this weekend, tough one. Well, DeBoer's doing something right because they are just getting it done. And Simpson doesn't look like a statue, like some other of these pro bettors were saying that they were all worried about him. He looks dialed, man, and he looks comfortable back there. And the wide receivers are great. I think this Tennessee defense is going to have a lot to handle here. I made the game 11. I made the game 11.
Now, Miller did get hurt late in the game, something we probably do need to monitor a little bit there. Just saying, it's something
that's the good thing about this Bama team is they don't, everything goes through the air, right? They don't live and die by the run game. Yeah, having Jam Miller healthy is great, but it's not gonna move the number here. I mean, we saw it open 8.5, and yeah, all right. I guess it's kind of where it is, right? I mean, Jam, what's Jam worth? Not even 0.5 point.
No, he's not. No. He's not worth anything.
So, but I get your point.
Yeah, and not to block you over here, CT, because I'm about to block you, but guy Brandon, Tennessee defensive success rate is in the triple digits. That's correct. I keep trying to tell you. I think the defense has been terrible this year. 114th in the defensive success rate, 98th in EPA per rush. Same thing in the pass. I mean, the passing rate has been slightly better, but it's only because of the opponents they faced. Meanwhile, the Alabama offense net is top 20 in net EPA per play. And they're a top 10 offense in EPA per play. Even with the brutal running game, they're still 7th in offensive EPA per play. I mean, that's insane. 127th in the offensive success rate running the football. Doesn't matter because they're 7th in passing offensive success rate. They're throwing the ball insane. I mean, again, I think if you're looking for an over, guys, I think this would be my over. Like, I think this one I think this one's probably played in the high 60s. Like, I would lean over in this game here. So I don't know. The Tennessee defense is fucking disastrous, like just disastrous. But I would tend to agree.
I might look into some Alabama team total as a separate play, which kind of goes along with everything you've said, Dan. But like I said, I think these are almost identical spots for Georgia and Alabama. They're at home facing a team they lost to on the road last year. Not the same, but similar point spreads, similar motivations, similar college football playoff implications. Alabama, Georgia money line parlay for me.
Very, very potential, very square Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, let's move over to the NFL, guys. 451, 452, Rams and Jags. Rams are now a 3-point favorite here. Even money, 44.5 is the total. Was 45.5. I played this one. This is the London game. I've heard pretty definitively Puka's out for this game, which I think is a big part of this offense. It means this is Devontae Adams' show. I like the Jags here, man. I do. I know it's the Sunday morning game, but let's also not forget, like, I think the Jags are very comfortable and have a very good understanding of this London trip. I do think that is a legitimate advantage that some of these teams don't get. The Rams have yet to be over there in one of these situational spots. I think the last time they played there was 5 years ago. It's a much more difficult spot than if you're the Jags and you're going over there for a game or two every single year. I like the Jags here a lot. Best number in market right now is, I think, 3-1-15 at Caesars. So I'll give out 3-1-15 with the Jags. I like them here. That is going to be a bet for me. I played 3-1-10. I don't care. 3-1-15 is good, up to 3-1-20. I think they win the game, but I'll take the points here with that. I made the Rams -1.5 in this game. I just like the spot, like the situational spot with the coming off there too. I didn't think the Rams looked very good without Puka offensively last week either. So something to note. And yeah, any thoughts on this game, guys?
Yeah, I can only have the dog here, especially in this London game. Especially Puka, probably with the ankle injury, probably going to be out. I agree with everything you said on the Jags here, especially if Puka's out, like the info says.
I like under. I played some under 45.5 a little bit earlier. It's ticked down a point since, but obviously no Puka plays towards that. These international games have been gross. I don't think it's going to be a Broncos Jets, but again, you're telling me you got, this Rams defense and you got the Jags going up with no Puka for the Rams. I think this could set up as another pretty gross, low scoring game.
All right, and finally, 475, 476 game of the week, Lions and Bucks Monday night game. Again, there'll be 2 Monday night games again next week. We will have the Tuesday opener again next week because of that. So we'll be doing Tuesday opener, not Monday opener next week. But I'll start with this. I did bet some Lions. Very rare. I'm a money line parlay guy. I laid some Lions -4.5 and laid some money line parlays this week, guys. I think this is a relatively good spot. Bucks are extremely banged up. Basically have no wide receivers, no Egbuka, no Evans, no Godwin this week. Unlikely to have Bucky Irvin this week too. I think if there's a spot to catch the Bucks in a bad situation, it's this week. Lions coming off a Sunday night loss. Get the Monday night home game here. I think this is a tremendous spot to catch the Lions laying some points here. I think this one's good to 6. I disagree with the market here. I think we're up to 5, but I would lay up to 6 here, guys. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is a show play for me. I was a little late to the game. I like the Lions as well. -5 is a play for me. Agree, Dan. And as good as this Baker Mayfield potential MVP Bucks team has been, they're grinding out games, and this is the NFL, and it's a really long season, and they have a lot of injuries, and Baker's taken a ton of hits, and he's been tough. I have nothing but good things to say about him, but this is a bad, bad spot here. Monday Night Football, having to travel to Detroit here. Detroit off the loss to KC. It just has that Dan Campbell, rallying the fucking locker room, bashing his head against the wall in the locker room before the game type scenario with these guys and getting them ready to go. I mean, Dan's catching touchdown passes for the Bucks last week. The guys, out of the hot dog stand and out of the stands are on the field for him. I like Detroit here, and I made the game 7.5. So this is a play, show play. CT -5 on the Lions.
All right, Jules, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, the only pushback I can give on the Lions is that they're going to be very thin in the secondary. They have some injuries, and then now Branch has suspended the game from the fight on Sunday Night Football. So can Baker be a hero and with some scrub wide receivers take advantage of backups in Detroit's secondary? Maybe. That's why there's the high total in the game. But Detroit should look pretty good too, and Tampa has all kinds of injuries, and Detroit's been phenomenal off a loss in these recent seasons since they kind of became a contender with Dan Campbell. So I would lean with you guys in this one.
Yeah, again, I like some Lions team total here as well. If you're looking for a team total bet. We do have a few questions, guys, before we get to there. Had Brandon come in. The Alabama win reminds me of DeBoer's last win. He just consistently talking about that. So, whatever. Can you guys please cover the Boise State UNLV game? I can't comprehend the spread. It makes me want to take Boise State. I think he said Boise.
You want to take Boise?
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the reality. UNLV has not played anyone. Right. And they've been pretty fucking
and they should have
terrible.
Lost a couple times probably too.
Yeah, they should have probably lost to Sam Houston State. I don't think the number is ridiculous. I made the number a little bit higher, actually. I considered playing some Boise. Probably will get to Boise on this one. But yeah, this could only be Boise or nothing. Don't look at the record. Records don't mean anything. I know it sounds crazy when I say this early in the year, but this early in the year, because it really doesn't. UNLV is not a good football team. It would not surprise me if they lost like 5 straight. I don't think they're very good. So yeah, I'm very very pro Boise. I laid some early 10, but very, very small amounts. And I think I probably laid it up to I think I made it 14. I think I'm way off market here if I remember correctly. And I was waiting for a little bit more clarity on this one. So but no major injuries to Boise from what I can find. It's already up to 11.5 most places.
Starbucks 12.5 here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Bet 105 currently minus 11.5. So yeah, I think probably one if you're looking to bet. I would bet Boise. I'd probably bet it sooner rather than later. I'll probably end up probably betting Boise tomorrow night, but nothing concrete yet. So
I agree. Same side. I like the way Boise's playing right now. We kind of got it dialed in, and probably we'll win out here.
Yeah. So that was that one. Yeah, Joey Cheese checking in. He wanted the same opinion there. Boise or nothing here. Other thoughts from Dave. Thoughts on Cal UNC. I saw the move this week. I think it opened like Cal 12.5. It's down to 10. I didn't know
do this UNC buy back again.
Probably also, yeah, and not to mention travel cross country in this spot. I'm not looking to lay points with Cal in most situations, but I think 10 with Cal feels somewhat cheap, to just be perfectly like transparent in this one. I don't know. I kind of want to lay it with Cal. I know that probably is extremely square, but that's where I'm at with this one. It's Cal or nothing for me. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this game.
UNC is that bad. Nothing this week is going to fix it. All they're doing is dealing with internal leaks and denying rumors and having press conferences. It's like, are they getting ready for this game where they have to fly cross country for a Friday night game against a good team? I don't understand any of this UNC pushback. I'm with you, Dan. Cal or nothing.
Yeah, again, very, very interesting. And coming off the Clemson spot, I'm not trying to tell you that, I hate UNC. I just think the number is a little bit. I think there's been too much buyback on it. I get it to 11. I made the game 11.5, but I don't know. I think we're getting too low at this point. I think we're getting a little ridiculous here. So any thoughts on this one, CT?
Cal UNC, I got nothing.
Okay. All right. I think that's it. I don't think let's see. We have any other questions? Okay. One more. Are the Niners done without Fred Warner? CT, I'll let you take that one away. What are your thoughts on this one?
It's getting really close. I don't know how much more magic there's going to be left for Shanahan. They need pieces back fucking yesterday. It's just year in and year out, and you saw the way that D is without Fred. They're not in a good spot right now. They are not in a good spot.
Yeah, they are.
I would say dead, but shit, it's fucking getting close.
I mean, the big problem is with them is that they, without Warner kind of controlling the defense, they're lost on the defensive side, how to line up, where to go, what to do. Yeah. They just look lost. So that's my major concern. I just think they're just lost without them. It's bad, dude. They are real bad. At least
not to mention Mac Jones. On top of Purdy being hurt, Mac Jones is hurt too.
Yeah, no, he is. He is
banged up.
Yeah. So the whole team is fucking bad.
They're just riddled with injuries.
Yeah, it's an absolute fucking disaster. So
I at this point, I'll just be happy if we get the 10 wins and cash our 9.5 over wins. I'll be extremely happy at this point.
Me too. All right, that's it for me, fellas. You guys got anything else?
Nope. We'll have 5 more hours for you on Thursday morning.
There you go. Thanks, CT. Just a lovely individual CT is. All right, there you go. That's it for us. We'll talk to you next Tuesday on the opener. Podcast will be out Thursday morning. We'll talk to you guys then. Good luck. Good night.